Robb Stark, pressured by the need to maintain strong alliances, finally decides to formally apologize to Lord Walder Frey for breaking the marriage pact. With his head held high but his heart heavy, he acknowledges the mistake made for love and honor. "Tell him I deeply regret it, but I could never apologize for loving Talisa," Robb says to his mother, Catelyn Stark. Catelyn, already wary of Walder's wounded pride, sets off to negotiate the opening of the twins' gates, clinging to the hope that diplomacy still holds some value. Meanwhile, Arya Stark, after struggling to free herself, infiltrates the castle disguised as a servant. She had been lucky to escape the Hound weeks earlier and, hitching a ride with a passing merchant family, arrived at the twins far sooner. Fortune favored her when she chose to pose as a maid and withhold her true name until finding someone trustworthy. Because of this, she overhears, hidden beneath a staircase, Walder Frey and his sons whispering about the arrival of Tywin Lannister's men. They think the young wolf comes to feast, but he'll sing his last hymn with us. One of the sons sneers, laughing darkly. Arya's blood runs cold. In secret, Arya escapes and reunites with the Stark soldiers camped south of the towers. Her pale face and wide eyes speak before her words do. They're going to kill Robb. It's a trap. Catelyn, returning from her diplomatic mission, senses the imminent danger. Though the Frey vassals swore safe passage, she tastes the lie in the air. "A Frey's promise is worth less than the wine they serve," she mutters bitterly. Still, her mission wasn't in vain. She secured oaths of personal loyalty from some of Walder's lesser lords, offering alternate retreat routes and trusted men within the walls. Every step now was a chess move, and Catelyn knew one misstep would mean the end of the North. Facing the looming conflict, Robb rearranges his pieces. He sends Meege Mormont to replace Roose Bolton in controlling the twins' minor crossings. A seemingly subtle but strategically crucial move. "Keep Roose close. I want to see his eyes when it all begins," Robb tells his advisors. Bolton accepts the change with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes, aware he's being tested. On the field, Robb tactically organizes the troops, mixing Karstark and Umber men, forces normally at odds. The mission is led by Jon Snow, who arrived from the north with news from the Night's Watch and now serves as a trusted advisor. "If they march together today, tomorrow they'll march as brothers," Robb declares, hopeful for unity under the North's banner. At dusk, Arya slips into the Northern King's camp and, with no time for emotional reunions, delivers the crucial warning, "I heard everything. They'll seal the gates behind you. The Lannisters are coming." The words don't fall on deaf ears. In the dead of night, a faint horn blast, 3 notes, inverted, muffled, echoes through the Stark ranks. It's the silent readiness signal, a code known only to Northern generals, used when betrayal is real and imminent. Every man in Robb's army sharpens his blade and stays vigilant. The feast would still happen, but now the wolves would be awake. "Let the crows come, if they dare," Robb whispers, staring at the distant towers, Arya at his side and sword in hand. The first move is silent, almost imperceptible to those distracted by the feast. The Northmen marching with the direwolf of Winterfell uncover hidden weapons and signs of impending treachery. Small Jon Umber, following orders given hours prior, positions his best crossbowmen in the hall's upper galleries. When Robb subtly raises his hand, the lightning strike begins. Arrows fly in unison, cutting down Frey guards before they can draw steel. "For Winterfell," Small Jon roars as he reloads, the echoes multiplying against the stone walls. Guests cower under tables as chaos erupts, but Robb knows. This is his only chance to survive and secure the rout. Without hesitation, Robb draws his sword and leads the Stark vanguard straight for the high table, where Walder Frey watches, stunned and furious. "Today, you pay your blood debt, old man," Robb bellows, cutting down 2 guards with swift strikes. Behind him, his men advance in tight formation, shattering the Frey defense before they can regroup. Talisa and Catelyn take refuge under the protection of 10 Stark soldiers. "Robb, to your left," Small Jon shouts, spotting one of Walder's sons raising a hidden blade. Robb dodges just in time and ends the threat with a brutal swing. Outside, the plan to sever communications unfolds. Squads led by the Bittens brothers attack the drawbridges, the twins' primary connection. Within minutes, 2 passages crash into the murky waters below. Frey reinforcements, stranded on the far side, are cut off. Among the captured soldiers, Robb orders the traitors identified. Those who swore loyalty and lied will pay double, he declares coldly. Some are imprisoned. Others, the most dangerous, disarmed and closely watched. The scales of power tip back toward the Starks. But Robb knows better than to trust smiles or honeyed words. Roose Bolton is named among the traitors, but Robb opts for symbolic punishment over immediate execution. Bring him to the table, he orders. Bolton, clinging to dignity, is bound and seated before the gathered lords. Roose, have you forgotten what it means to be a northerner? Caitlin asks with contempt. The women had returned after Robb's victory. Bolton merely smirks. I did what I must to survive, my lady, he replies before being gagged. Robb stares at him for a long moment before turning away. Let all see. The traitor is chained while the loyal rise. But he'll face judgment in Winterfell. The declaration draws hesitant cheers from allies and terror from the phrase. The night meant to be the Starks' end becomes, for the first time in ages, a night of hope. As dawn veils the twins in mist and silence, Robb Stark orchestrates one of the most symbolic moments of his political rebirth. Roose Bolton's public trial. The courtyard is arranged to host Northern and Vale lords, summoned urgently to witness. At the center, chained and in plain garb, Roose stands defiant, though his eyes lack their usual venom. You conspired with the Lannisters while I bled for your house, Robb states clearly. You secretly wed a Frey, sealing the alliance to kill my line. Do you confess or deny? Roose replies coolly, I confess I was practical. You? A romantic. Murmurs spread, but Robb raises a hand and looks to Arya. She steps onto the platform, her gaze steady despite her youth. Swearing before the old gods and new, she recounts what she overheard as a maid in the Frey castle. Walder Frey laughed, saying the music of death was already rehearsed. A man from the Rock, wearing Lannister colors, brought a letter and gold. They spoke of ending the wolf before the South could react. I turned to Roose, now uneasy. He said the North needed an obedient lord, that Tywin would grant lands and titles, Arya concludes. Caitlyn's fists clench. Robb nods. The people's voice is the sharpest blade. And you've just sharpened yours, sister. To prove the conspiracy beyond doubt, Robb has Tywin's letters read aloud. Penned in the lion's own hand, they order the silencing of the wolf and promise rewards for the Freys and Boltons. They bear the golden seal of the Rock, notes Maester Vyman as scribes copy the letters for riders to spread. Within days, every vassal in the Riverlands and North would know the truth. Let all see it was not war, it was treachery, Robb proclaims. The words spread like wildfire. The lion tried to slay the sleeping wolf, and the North does not forgive betrayal. As the winds of truth blow, news arrives from Highgarden. Lady Olenna Tyrell, ever shrewd, summons her lords after hearing of the trial and receiving copies of Tywin's letters. Cersei drowns in her pride, and my grandson won't bind himself to a house of cowardly murderers. Olenna declares, her words recorded. Publicly, she pledges support to Robb Stark and promises reinforcements if the Iron Throne denies his legitimacy. If they want war, let them face the North and the thorniest garden in Westeros. The alliance shifts the game. For the first time, the wolves have more than claws. They have allies with gold, men, and southern power. With the Freys fallen and Roose Bolton's trial echoing across the Seven Kingdoms, Robb Stark becomes more than a king. He becomes a symbol of justice. Hesitant lords who once doubted him now send banners in support. The Vale, spurred by Sansa Stark's influence in the Eyrie, opens its gates. Stark blood runs through you, Sansa, says Ser Yon Royce, and the Vale honors kin, not traitors. With the North, Trident, Vale, and Reach united, Robb retakes the Westerlands without slaughter, offering each castle a choice, loyalty or exile. Cersei Lannister, receiving reports, barricades herself in the Red Keep. With Tywin dead and Jaime gone, she stands alone. "They're more organized than we ever were," admits Qyburn, "and the people support them. The songs have already begun." Cersei snarls, "Songs don't win wars." But even she knows, there's no gold left in Casterly Rock. The Golden Company, weakened, refuses contract renewals. When the North marches on King's Landing, the city greets them with silence. No battles, no resistance, only gates opening, weary of war and hunger, and executions for enemies. Amid the crowds, Arya walks cloakless, eyeing the Red Keep. "Is it over?" she asks Robb. He hesitates. "Not yet." From the north comes a new plea. The Night's Watch needs aid. With brothers disappearing, Jon Snow, now Lord Commander, sends ravens begging for help. The wildlings, allied under Tormund and Jon, face remnants of the army of the dead still lurking beyond the wall. Robb, now a king recognized by the free kingdoms of the north, doesn't hesitate. "Before any throne, I am a northerner, and there my brothers fight." Catelyn, older and wiser, nods. "Your father would have done the same." Arya prepares too. "I won't let Jon fight alone again." Robb's arrival at Castle Black with part of his army is met with shock and emotion. Jon, unshaven and weary, embraces him without ceremony. "I thought you were a king now." Robb smiles. "I am, but I'd never let my brother bleed alone." The battle at the far north is brief but brutal. The last echoes of the long night are burned in pyres beneath the old god's gaze. Afterward, Northmen and wildlings raise banners together. Tormund laughs. "Two Stark kings, one in black, one crowned. That'll be a tale." Jon replies, "I don't want a throne, just peace." Robb agrees. "Then we'll build it. Together." The war's end brings no feasts, only work. The north rebuilds. The Riverlands flourish under Edmure. The Vale prospers beside Sansa. Arya sails west, free at last. Jon returns to the Wall not as a prisoner but as its chosen guardian. And Robb, a king without a golden throne but with respect, rules from Winterfell with a council of familiar faces. Catelyn, Brienne, Davos, Maester Vyman. There are no promises of eternal peace, but there is justice. And the bards at last rewrite the song. The wolf survived the Red Wedding, and made sure the world would never forget.